Hello everyone, this is Jotto, and welcome to another Deck Tech. And I am back. Yes, I've been very busy recently, downside of being at university, but I am now back in the swing of things. So for this video, we'll be covering something which I did refer to about a week ago, which was a Burn and Pillage deck. So I've been hunting around for a Burn and Pillage deck that I actually like, and I ended up coming across this one. Now, full credit for this actually goes to, well, a combination of That's Admirable, who had the original list, and then this particular list is actually made by a guy called Romanesque, who got rank 1 legend with it, and I have played the list quite a lot, and to be honest, I really like it. It's not quite as just straight up aggro as you'd expect from a Burn and Pillage list, however, it I think is actually just very card efficient and quite effective. So anyway, first things first, starting with the ping effects. Now this is fairly normal for the archer decks. You have your ping effects that you get in red. 3 rapid shot, 1 sharpshooter scout. Now the rapid shot allows you to ping a creature and then draw a card and then use a execute effect. Well, Hearthstone terminology, but you can use a leaf lurker or a finish off to immediately kill a creature with a rapid shot. So with finish off, it only costs 2 mana, but you don't get anything else besides just the destroy a wounded creature. And with Leaf Lurker, it costs 5, but you get a 4/3 on top of it. So these are 2 extremely powerful effects, and red allows you to get a lot of extra ways of pinging in order to enable them. So Rapid Shot draws you a card, Scout gives you a 1/1 and also works on Prophecy. However, Rapid Shot is just better because you want the cycle more than you want the 1/1. However, the 1/1 is useful, and also Scout can actually target things like Nahaglyph and Iron Atronach, so that does come up occasionally. So anyway, basic ping effects. Now, for the rest of the early game, we've got the green core, we've got Ungalim, the 1 mana 2/1 with a probably too powerful effect. Yeah, putting 3 assassins into your deck, 3 threes, lethal, only cost 1 and they draw a card when you play them. So if you draw these early on or late game or just whenever, they're incredibly good. And they allow you to push a lot of damage, they get a lot of tempo, and they're very hard to play against. And they draw cards, you don't really run out of steam. Very powerful card. Now for the 2-drops, we've got 12 2-drops in this deck. Starting with the Daring Cutpurse, 2/2 for 2, Prophecy, and most importantly, Pilfer +1/+1. So you play it in the Shadow Lane or you play it in the Field Lane, and every time you hit them, it gets bigger. Now, against some decks like Spellsword, this is an absolute nightmare because you just play it in the Shadow Lane, since they'll probably take the Field Lane first. You play it in the Shadow Lane, and very few people play Execute, so you just keep attacking them. And eventually it has to get edicted or javelined or something insane. So yeah, Cutpurse is incredible in some matchups. The only matchups a bit sketchy in is probably against blue decks because they have Firebolt, but if they don't have the Firebolt, they're in trouble. And Cutpurse is just an incredible way of pushing damage. Fighters Guild Recruit, 2 mana 1/2, Prophecy Guard, and Lethal. Now, the Prophecy on this guy is probably a little bit over the top, but in general, 1/2, Lethal, and Guard will cause nightmares for your opponent. If you play a Cutpurse and then play a Fighters Guild Recruit next to it, if they didn't have removal for the Cutpurse, they just have to trade into the Recruit, and then you get a 4/4, and you can see how this snowballs. And just in general, causes a lot of issues, and the Prophecy is one of the most obnoxious things that you can face. A lot of the green Prophecies are incredible. Cutpurse is just a nice tempo play, but Fighters Guild actually protects you. Next, we've got the Murkwater Witch, 3 of them in this particular case, 2 mana 1/1, Guard, and you can give something -1/-1 when you play it. This is actually quite important because it allows you to use finish off effects on stuff with Ward, because the -1/-1 makes them wounded and it goes through Ward, which is actually quite handy against Sorcerer. But in general, it is much better than a ping. It also gives you a guard, and the fact that you can use this on stuff like Fighters Guild Recruit is just disgusting. It actually just completely negates a Fighters Guild Recruit, which is a very powerful effect. So don't really underestimate that -1 attack that often comes with this. It's very, very easy to think, oh, it's just -1, but it does definitely come up, and it allows you to get free kills that you really shouldn't be able to. Thieves Guild Recruit. 2 mana 1/2, and you play it, draw a card, and if it costs 7 or more, reduce its cost by 2. Now, there's only one card in the whole deck that gets reduced by this, which is Cascade. However, just having a 1/2 that cycles is actually really nice. It allows you to smooth out your draws, and a 1/2 is still quite dangerous when you have so many ways of maxing out just small amounts of damage, where you can use this with the finish off effect, or you can use this with multiple other pings to take out bigger stuff. And in general, Thieves Guild is actually fairly useful, even though it's only a 1/2. The body is not, it's not inconsequential, I'll put it that way. Having a 1/2 actually is quite handy. So that's it for the first couple turns. So where do we go from there? Well, there's only the 2 3-drops in this deck. It's a little 3-drop light. We got the House Kinsman and the Pyromancer. Now, the Kinsman is basically the best of the green 3-drops. The rest have been cut from this particular list, but you get your 3/3 for 3, and when it dies, you basically drain 3. You deal 3 damage to them, you gain 3 life. Why is that important? It's important because there are 3 Soul Rest Marshals and 3 Triumphant Jarls in this deck. Now, Soul Rest Marshal and Jarl both require you to be ahead on life. Jarl draws you 2 cards, and Soul Rest Marshal allows you to play the next card essentially for free, because it refunds you the cost on the Marshal. So getting the massive tempo swings from this allows you to just power through wins out of nowhere. And House Kinsman allows you to be ahead on life most of the time on turn 5, and that's why he's so good. In a lot of other cases, he's just life gain or some direct damage, but when you're playing 6 life-based cards, he's incredibly powerful, and will cause absolute nightmares for your opponent, especially if they're playing control. If they're playing control, they just have no hope of being ahead on life, and then you go Marshal into, say, Cliff Racer or something, that's a 10 mana turn, or if you have 2 Marshals, it's 15 mana, and at that point, you just can't come back. The other 3-drop is the Skaven Pyromancer, the 2/3, and when you play him, you deal 1 damage to all other creatures in this lane. This allows you to deal with tokens quite efficiently, and also just allows you to make up damage when you're trying to get some trades. Now, often you won't be able to get trades, so having the ping effects does help. I mean, we talked about this with Thieves Guild Recruit, but Pyromancer allows you to, instead of just giving you 1 trade, it'll give you all of the trades in 1 lane. And you can play double Pyro later, and that will just wipe the board on one side in some cases. So Pyromancer has a lot of utility to it, and having a bit of AoE is very, very nice. Onto the 4-drops. Again, a bit 4-drop light. A lot of this deck is more reinforced in the early game, and also in the mid-game. So this sort of early mid-game, or turn 3, turn 4, is a little bit lighter, but you're still running the essentials. Earthbone Spinner, 4 mana 3/2. This is your silence of choice because it also pings. Now, why is that important? Well, it works really, really well with Finish Off. With Leaf Lurker, it's expensive, but with Finish Off, it's 6 mana, kill anything, pretty much, regardless of effects. But in general, having the 1 damage also allows you to kill stuff with Ward that has 1 HP, and just killing stuff with Last Gasp that also has 1 HP is actually quite handy. So, I do like the Spinner. I don't think it's the best silence in the game. I think it's the second best one after Shadowfen Priest, because that can kill supports. But in general, it is a very, very powerful card, and being able to get past guard for lethal plays is also quite handy, and that's why having 3 silences is really, really nice. There's a lot of persistent effects that cause a lot of problems, and having 3 silence on a decent body, actually 3/2, allows you to push a lot of damage, and also get some kills in the shadow lane that they didn't think you'd be able to, etc. So silences are very, very good. Moonlight Werebat. The 4 mana 4/3 with Prophecy and Drain. This is probably the best way of gaining life in the whole game at this point. I mean, basically, if you're losing to an aggro deck, they attack you, and you get a Werebat of Prophecy. Now, you play the game where if they have mana left up, they have to have removal. What happens if they don't? You gain 4 life, and probably kill something. Or you attack them, cause an 8 life swing, and then just go Marshal, Triumphant Jarl, and then something else, and then they lose. So they really do have to play around the Werebat, and 3 HP is kind of easy to deal with in some cases, But the life gain is so powerful, and as I mentioned earlier when it came to House Kinsman, being able to get this sort of 8 life swing is just critical when you're playing these life-based cards. So very, very powerful card, and I think this was underestimated for a long time, but nowadays everyone's playing it because the card is just incredible. Speaking of incredible cards, Blood Dragon. Blood Dragon, 5 mana, 5/7, ignores guard, and also can attack in any lane. This is a card where you look at it, and you think, alright, 5 mana, 5/7, what's the drawback? And then you keep reading, and it has an upside. This thing is crazy. So, yeah, 5/7 for 5 is pretty much the largest amount of stats you can possibly get on a 5-drop. Outside of Javelin, nothing's really dealing with this, and Javelin also costs 5. The ability to ignore guards is really, really good. But the ability to snipe anywhere on the field, including attacking face, is just incredible. Being able to snipe around guards, or being able to play him in the shadow lane and then take over the field lane from the shadow lane is something that no other card can really do, and that's why Blood Dragon is so incredibly powerful. Now, it is a legendary, so what about some substitutions for this, since I mean, it's a lot of crafting. Let's be honest here, 2,400. So some of the other things I tried before I had them were Bannersman. I actually quite like the Bannersman. The 5 mana 4/4, and whenever the Bannersman attacks, you get 2 1/1s with charge that you can play for 0. Now that was actually quite nice for pushing some damage, and also for using with finish off effects. Besides that, though, it's a bit hard to gauge. I've seen a few people running Cast Out to deal with guards, and I can't really think of much else. Having the extra punch is quite nice. I mean, you could always try an extra 4-drop, like try running some Avengers, 2 Avengers, or an extra Scout, for instance. So there are definitely options, but the Blood Dragon just gives you a lot of punch that no other card really gives you at 5 mana. So on to the rest of the 5-drops. Now we already have talked about the Leaf Lurker and also the Marshal. The last 5-drop in the deck is Cliff Racer, the 5 mana 4/4 with charge. Now this allows you to get snipes in the field lane in particular, where you can take out 3/3s or 2/3s pretty easily, and then they have to spend another card to deal with the Cliff Racer. That's the 2-for-1. It also allows you to get a lot of pressure going. Soulrest Marshal into Cliff Racer puts on the most pressure of anything on turn 5, pretty much. Now, Soulrest into Blood Dragon is your, board. You just take control of the board immediately. But if you get Cliff Racer down, if they don't have an answer, well, you get 8 damage in over those 2 turns, which is a lot. And at that point, you got the 8/8 worth of stats off the Marshal, and you're also swinging constantly. So Cliff Racer is very, very powerful sometimes. It also allows you to get a lot of lethal plays that you wouldn't normally have, where you've got Tazcad for the 6 charge damage, and then you've got Cliff Racer for the 4 charge damage, and you can also do some House Kinsman replace shenanigans to get your 3 damage there. So the deck actually has a surprising amount of reach. It's not running Crushing Blow, so you don't have the maximum amount of reach you can really be using, but it is quite a large amount. Now, we've already talked about Jarl. However, this is possibly the best card in the deck, at least in my opinion, and I think this thing might be a little too good right now. Burn and Pillage. 3 of them, yeah. The card is that good. It's a situational AoE, and it's that good that you want to be running 3. So what does Burn and Pillage do? Well, it costs 6 mana, and it deals 1 damage to all enemy creatures for each destroyed enemy rune. Now, this is insane, and the reason it's insane is for 3 reasons. First of all, it's one-sided. It doesn't affect your board at all. It is a one-sided AoE. Second reason is it affects both lanes, which is just unheard of when it comes to AoEs. It's pretty much Ice Storm that also does that. And Ice Storm affects your side as well. And on top of that, it may look like it's a little bit situational because of the runes, and that does come up occasionally. But as I mentioned earlier, because of Marshal and Jarl, you want to be attacking a lot, and you're going to be breaking a lot of runes, and by the time Burn and Pillage is up, you'll probably have broken 2 or 3 runes, and at that point you have a one-sided Ice Storm, and then later on in the game, by turn 8 or 9, in a lot of cases, you'll be playing Burn and Pillages for 4. Or even, I mean, you can even play them for 5, but in general, you will be playing Burn and Pillage for 3 or 4, but that's an incredible AoE. And the fact that you can combo with Finish Off means you can just wipe out the entire board all at once, and it basically negates the card and tempo advantage that you get from runes. You attack for, say, 10 damage in one turn, they get 2 prophecies, they slam them into play, you Burn and Pillage, wipe them all out, and it's like nothing even happened. So Burn and Pillage is an incredibly powerful card, and I think is the main reason why these types of archer decks are starting to become really, really popular, is pretty much just because of Burn and Pillage. At first, people were running 2, but now I think 3 is actually the right number. The card is insane. Speaking of insane cards, the last card in the deck, Tazcad the Packmaster. 8 mana 6/6, breakthrough charge, and when he dies, you get a 4/4. Tazcad's incredible. Although, funnily enough, I actually have not seen a Tazcad die in a while, because every time I play Tazcad in this deck, it's to kill them. So I actually haven't seen a Tazcad die while playing this in probably the last 25 games or something. So yeah, Tazcad is usually just 6 charge damage, but it has breakthrough so it can get damage through taunts. And also, against control, you play Tazcad, hit them for 6, and then they have to deal with it twice. They have to silence it and then do something else. The only time where you can effectively deal with Tazcad is with Archer, really, because you can set him up with Spinner and just take him out, and you don't get the Last Gasp because he's also silenced. However, even then, he's probably already killed a card and dealt damage to you, and you get the idea. You can't really ever punish your opponent for having a Tazcad. Unless they draw Tazcad turn 1, they can't even play him. So yeah, Tazcad is an incredible card, one of the best green cards in the entire game, and is definitely, in my opinion, probably the legendary that's worth crafting first. Yeah, I think he's probably the best legendary to craft, straight up. There might be another one I'm forgetting, but I think Tazcad is the best legendary to craft. He's unique, so you can't play more than one anyway, and he's just incredibly powerful. So anyway, let's try and find some games. So the idea is we're going to play 2 games here. Now, I have dropped substantially. Well, it's mostly because I couldn't play for quite a few days, so yeah, everyone ended up going past me. But currently in top 100, and I actually got back into top 100 with this deck, I think just due to inactivity, and I think I lost a few games and I just dropped a bunch. So I was at 170, and currently I'm actually at 74, so I have been climbing with this list. Send back this entire hand, I think. We're against Battle Mage. Rapid Shot is quite nice, but I'd rather have some 2-drops. Pyromancer, that's going to be quite nice against Battle Mage. We're against someone who's ranked 231. The Ite. Do I just Rapid Shot those? No, because I've got Rapid Shot Finish Off, so I'll let it hit me. I was debating just Rapid Shotting it, but I think that it's better just to save the Rapid Shot for the Finish Off. So I'm at 23 now. So we can just play a Witch and set up the Pyromancer. Pyromancer and Witch basically do exactly the same thing here. Well, close to it. Save the Rapid Shot because I finish off. Not having the 2-drop did hurt a bit. Yeah, so now now we can just go for the Rapid Shot. He's playing in the same lane. I don't know why, because this just plays into Pyromancer. That's just a mistake in my opinion. Alright, so we can Rapid Shot, and then just Pyromancer, and now we've got full board control again. Let's heat things up. Something of note is that this deck is incredibly card efficient, which means that even when you're behind on life, so you can't use Jarl and Marshall, because you're so card efficient, it doesn't often matter. Now, I do want to set up the Werebat here, but I think I just want to Cliff Racer and kill the 2/4. This should be good. Huh, that's a problem. Okay, I'm just gonna Cliff Racer. If he doesn't deal with it, I can burn and pillage him for 2. And that should clear out the board. 13. Second burn and pillage. He could burn and pillage me here. Fate Weaver. So he's playing a prophecy deck. I could clear the board here. But what I'm gonna do instead, I think, is just play the whereabout. I need to set up some form of life gain. So he's playing a prophecy deck, which means I have to be careful while attacking. I mean, I know that for sure now because he's played Fate Weaver, but he also played... She doesn't put it here. He also played the 2/4 with Prophecy and Guard, so it's a very, very high chance of him playing just a Prophecy deck. There's a Kinsman. That's going to be handy. Alright, we're going to break a rune here. Get the Kinsman down. Pass. No, I've got Burn and Pillage to enable finish off, so we're just going to cancel this. Yeah, for those of you that didn't know, you can just cancel summon effects by clicking the little icon that comes up in the bottom corner. Oh, whoa! What? Alright, we're in trouble now. I actually have no idea how we win from there. Double Gladiator Arena? Really? Okay. I mean, he's playing Prophecy. Cast out.
I'll kill you where you stand.
He's gonna get a rune pop anyway. He's at 6. I can put him to 2. There's no point in doing that though, because it'll just draw a card. So yeah, I can't do anything here. I'm probably just dead. I'm dead to any direct. Double Gladiator Arena. That's not something you see every day. Oh, if I'd hit him, I would have killed him. I didn't think about the 8. Oh, that was a mistake. Or was it actually? I'm not sure, because I would have given him an extra card, and there's a lot of direct in the deck that isn't symmetrical. So maybe I should have just pushed the damage anyway. But that was unfortunate. That was a very, very strange deck. Very, very strange deck. Yeah, I think if we had a offensive 2-drop, that could have gone differently. Maybe I should have just rapid shot at the 8 at the beginning. I took 3 for no reason, I guess. Hard to gauge. Anyway, we are against a rank 14. Ungolim into Cut Purse, that's pretty much as good as it gets. Sent back a spinner, got back a spinner. Alright, we're against rank 14. Spef playing Monk. Now, going first, getting Ungolim is pretty much as good as it gets. We've also got the Cut Purse, and he's playing Monk, so he's going to have some issues dealing with this, and he didn't have a 2-drop.
Your time has come.
Without Executioner. Wow. Alright, we got an Assassin. That's crazy. And Prophecy. Maybe I should have attacked first. I could have drawn a 2-drop though.
They make it too easy.
I mean, it wouldn't have changed how I played that, but yeah, maybe I should have attacked first. Divine Fervor.
There are ill winds this
Smuggler. That presents some issues. What does it? Rapid shot. Pyromancer? Okay. I think I still go for the pyro though. Just because I want to keep my assassin in place so I can keep attacking him. Next turn I can play spinner to put it back down to 2.
Farewell, fool.
Thieves Guild.
If I fall, the hist will reclaim me.
Anasi finds it useful to use her
Oh my
axe
god.
against him.
Come on! Oh, that's just unfortunate. Okay. So we're gonna kill this thing with Cliff Racer. And then attack. Attack with this first player on Javelin and Fighter's Guild. Couldn't play around whereabout though. Double prophecies. That's rough. We hit one as well. He had the perfect counter to it.
Farewell, fool.
Wow, how many prophecies are in this game? 4 out of 4.
A little distraction might prove useful.
Illusionist? What? There's a card I haven't seen in a while.
Too easy.
What is this game?
We know.
Alright, we're gonna play the assassin over here.
Waiting.
Finish off.
We know.
I'll kill you where you stand.
I think I just have to go for the Cliff Racer, right? I can't take that much damage. I could finish off, but I can't play anything with it, so it's basically the same play. And I have another Cliff Racer, so it's not like I'm lowering the options in my hand. This has been a crazy game.
Behold my
So many prophecies. Now I can kill that with a spinner.
Cause it has had enough.
Another bat. Burn and pillage. Alright, that's a 3 damage burn and pillage. That's huge. That keeps me ahead on life, and also just wiped his board. Yeah, burn and pillage is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Another whereabout. Now, I could just Cliff Racer here. He'll probably be ahead on life from there, though. No, I'll just go for the Cliff Racer. I think playing to tempo is probably more effective in this case. He can be ahead on life, though, if he wants to be here. He has to give me a card to do it. So I'm only 1 card down from playing the Jarl regardless. And being ahead on life, he could have Golden Saint. Martial Golden Saint would just be insane. But,
Your time has come.
yeah, there's nothing else. Fervor? Sure. So that puts him at 17. I can Earthbone here. Alright, Earthbone, finish off. That's 6, 7, 8, 9.
We know.
Cause it has had enough.
The forest will not suffer your presence.
I'm just trying to keep as much board position as possible.
Hope to outwit me.
He's behind on life, so he can't use Golden Saint. Ah, he's trying to draw a card. Another prophecy? What? How many prophecies have been hit this game? I've hit 2, he's hit 3. This is crazy. This is like statistically improbable, but yeah.
Or your life.
Dunestalker. Alright. Well, we're ahead on life now, and Blood Dragon. Draw 2 cards. There's the bat. So take the kills,
The day is
attack
mine.
face, and play the bat. I think we've got this. This game was crazy. This game was utterly insane. So many prophecies. It was just so hard to get any damage through. Alright. Oh, come on! Really? That's just insane! Oh, jeez. Alright, this game is not over yet, apparently.
What have we here?
Unless I draw Tascat here. Jarl. I'm playing Jarl because I can draw a 3-drop and just play from there. Or another recruit.
What have we here?
Alright. This game still isn't over. Alright, conceded. That was crazy! That was a lot of prophecies on both sides, my god. A lot of prophecies. That burn and pillage for 3 won me that game, pretty much. The burn and pillage top deck for 3 damage is what won me that game. That was an incredible tempo swing. And at that point, I don't think he ever recovered. So anyway, that is my deck tech on Cycle Archer. Now, as I said, all credit for this particular list goes to Romanesque. I'll link his list in the description. He ended up getting Legend with it. Like, he ended up, well, actually, he did get Legend with it as well. But he ended up getting Rank 1 Legend 3 different times this month. So the list is clearly extremely good. So I'd highly recommend going and checking it out over there and asking him any questions, since he will be the expert on this particular archetype. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, want to ask me any questions, put it in the comment section below. But as now, it's been Jotto, signing off.